Once upon a time, there was a prosperous village situated on the edge of a dense forest. The people of the village lived a peaceful life. In the heart of the village, the villagers had built a beautiful temple, where they worshipped every day. At the entrance of the temple, there was a large well that would ring during prayers.
One night, a thief sneaked into the temple, stole the bell, and ran toward the forest.
As he ran through the dark forest, the bell made a loud ringing sound, which echoed far and wide. A tiger, who was roaming nearby, heard the sound and, out of curiosity, started following it. The thief, exhausted from running, stopped under a tree to rest. At that moment, the tiger reached there, pounced on him, and killed him. The bell slipped from the hands and fell to the ground. The next morning, a group of monkeys were passing by that place. They noticed the bell lying on the ground. One of the monkeys picked it up, and soon the others gathered around it.
The monkeys found the sound of the bell amusing and started playing with it.
Every night, the monkeys rang the bell, filling the forest with its mysterious sound.
The villagers, unaware of the real reason behind the noise, found it strange and frightening.
Days passed, and fear started growing among the people. They could not understand who was ringing the bell in the middle of the night. One day, the villagers decided to uncover the mystery. They chose a brave young man and sent him into the forest to find out the truth. When the young man reached the forest, he saw the skeleton of the thief lying on the ground. He was horrified. In a state of panic, he ran back to the village and told everyone that a ghost was roaming in the forest, killing people and ringing the bell at night. The villagers, without questioning his words, believed him instantly. Fear spread like wildfire, and soon, many villagers started leaving the village in search of safety. When the king of the state learned that people were fleeing the village because of the ghost, he made an announcement. He promised a generous reward to anyone who could drive the ghost away. An old woman from the same village heard the king's proclamation. She was very old and had no source of income. She thought, if I can get this reward, my old age will be spent happily. At first, she was afraid after hearing about the ghost, but then she thought there must be a logical reason behind this sound. I will find out the truth. That night, she gathered her courage and went into the forest alone. Hiding behind a tree, she observed everything. Soon, she saw a group of monkeys playing with a bell, ringing it joyfully. The old woman understood the entire situation. She returned to the village with a clever plan. The next day she went to the king and said, "Your Majesty, I can get rid of the ghost, but for that I need to perform a special ritual. I will require some money to complete the process." The king agreed immediately and provided her with the money. With that, she bought peanuts, gram and fruits. Then she went into the forest, carefully placed all the food items under a tree and hid nearby, waiting for the monkeys. After some time, the monkeys arrived. Seeing the food, they got excited and rushed to eat it, leaving the bell behind. As they enjoyed their feast, the old woman quickly picked up the bell and quietly left the forest. She went straight to the king's palace, handed him the bell and said, "Your Majesty, the ghost has left the forest forever.
The villagers have nothing to fear anymore."
The king saw the bell and recognized it. It was the same bell from the temple that had been stolen some time ago. He was highly impressed by the old woman's intelligence and courage, so he rewarded her generously. From that day onwards, the sound of the bell was never heard again, and the villagers lived happily without fear. If we listen carefully to this story, we will find that the story teaches us 3 important lessons about life which can help us live peacefully and wisely. Do not blindly believe in rumors. In the story, the villagers believed the young man's words without knowing the truth. They got scared and started leaving their homes. The same thing happens in real life. Many times we hear something from others and accept it without thinking. The story teaches us that before believing anything, we should think, investigate, and find out the truth ourselves. With intelligence, every problem can be solved. In the story, while others were afraid, the old woman used her wisdom to find the real reason behind the bell ringing at night. Instead of running away in fear, she calmly thought about the problem and found a way to solve it. In our real life, problems come in different forms. If we panic, they seem bigger than they are. But if we think with a calm mind, we can find a way to solve them. Just like the old woman, we should use our intelligence and patience to handle every situation in our life. Our fears are imaginary. The villagers feared a ghost that never existed. It was only in their imagination. When the old woman bravely went to the forest and searched for the truth, she found that it was just monkeys playing with a bell. This teaches us that many times we are afraid of things that are not even real. If we keep running away from our fears, they will always scare us. But if we face them, we will realize that they were never as big as we imagined. So the story shows us that life will always bring problems and challenges. But if we think wisely, do not believe in rumors and face our fears, we can handle any situation. Instead of running away, we should find solutions with intelligence and courage. A peaceful life is not about avoiding difficulties, but about overcoming them with wisdom and strength.